Stop scrolling. Seriously. Because what just happened in Dubai wasn't a routine first-round qualifier. It wasn't just another WTA 1000 scoreline ticking across your screen. What we witnessed at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships was a cultural shockwave that rattled the desert. And no, that's not hype. This was different. Dubai is a city built on spectacle. Skyscrapers that pierce the clouds. Luxury cars lined up like trophies. A place that hosts the world's elite and does it with effortless polish. Tennis here is usually elegant, controlled, almost corporate. Early round matches? Polite applause. VIP lounges humming quietly. A civilized murmur between points. Not tonight. Tonight that stadium didn't sound like tennis. It sounded like a World Cup final. It sounded like a rock concert. It sounded like something much bigger than sport. Because when Alexandra Eala walked onto that hard court, she didn't just bring her racket. She brought a nation. The reports coming out of the arena are almost surreal. Thousands packed into the stands. Not casual observers. Not corporate invitees. They were organized. Loud. Unified. The Filipino community in the UAE showed up in full force and turned what should have been neutral territory into a thunderous home court. Flags everywhere. The golden sun and 3 stars waving from every angle. Painted faces. Chants rolling through the stadium in rhythmic waves. Energy that refused to fade. Veteran journalists said it felt like a final. Tournament officials admitted they hadn't heard noise like that for a qualifier in years. Even players watching from the sidelines couldn't ignore it. And here's why this matters. Women's tennis has been searching for its next magnetic force in the post-Serena era. The level is incredible, no question. Iga Swiatek is a machine. Aryna Sabalenka is raw power personified. The talent pool is stacked. But who moves culture? Who makes people who've never watched a tennis match in their lives buy a ticket and wait in line for hours? On this night in Dubai, Alexandra Eala answered that question. She faced American Hailey Baptiste, a dangerous opponent with weapons and experience. And from the first game, you could feel the tension. Baptiste struck first, testing Eala early. The rallies were brutal. Long exchanges. Hard angles. Tactical adjustments. But Eala didn't blink. Down early, she clawed back with that heavy lefty forehand, dragging Baptiste wide, opening the court, forcing errors. Every winner detonated the crowd. Every breakpoint felt like match point. The noise wasn't background, it was a force. A wave she rode with fearless conviction. She took the first set 6-4. Not easily. Not cleanly. But with grit. Then came the twist. Early in the second set, Baptiste began struggling physically. An abdominal issue clearly limiting her serve and movement. After just one game, she made the call no competitor ever wants to make. Retirement on paper, it will read simply, Eala advanced to the round of 32, but that sterile line doesn't capture what happened inside that stadium. Yes, the ending was anticlimactic. There was no dramatic match point. No final rally that sent the crowd into chaos. But the statement had already been made. This wasn't about a single scoreline, that it was about presence. About pull. About a 20-year-old stepping onto one of the biggest stages outside the slams and turning a Tuesday qualifier into primetime theater. For the past 2 years, people have whispered about her development. Her training. Her climb. Her potential. The whispers just turned into a roar. Dubai didn't just host a match tonight, it felt the arrival of an era. And if this is what a first-round qualifier looks like, imagine what happens next. But what happened next? Anything but anticlimactic. Normally, when a match ends in retirement, the air drains out of the stadium. Fans sigh. The buzz fades. People check their phones and start heading for the exits. Not this time. The moment the umpire called, game set match, Eala, the arena at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships exploded. Not polite applause. Not respectful clapping, it detonated. You would have thought she had just lifted a Grand Slam trophy. And let that sink in, this was essentially a second-round qualifying match. Yet the reaction rivaled Championship Sunday at Wimbledon. That's not normal support. That's movement-level energy. Tournament organizers are reportedly scrambling. Extra security. Adjusted seating plans. Contingency crowd control. Because every time Alexandra Eala steps on court, the atmosphere shifts from tennis event to cultural rally. This is what the rockstar effect actually looks like. Do we throw the phrase around too casually in sports? A player has charisma, wins a few matches, suddenly they're labeled a superstar. But watch the footage from Dubai. Fans leaning over barriers just to glimpse her towel. Screaming her name during changeovers. Security visibly straining to contain waves of supporters pushing forward for a photo or autograph. That's not hyped, that's phenomenon. Even her next opponent feels it. Jasmine Paolini, currently inside the top 10, openly called Eala huge for tennis. But she also admitted something telling for a player ranked outside the elite tier: the environment surrounding her is unlike anything she's experienced. That says everything. And it's not just the players. Tournament director Sula Talik has publicly acknowledged what's happening. Nearly 1 million Filipinos live in the UAE. Thousands work within Dubai duty-free alone. These aren't passive observers. They buy tickets. They show up early. They stay loud. They create an atmosphere that transforms the venue. Dubai isn't shocked because of the scoreline, they're shocked because they underestimated the hunger. The pride. The deep desire for a global tennis icon that we've seen this before in other sports. When Manny Pacquiao fought, an entire nation stopped. Streets emptied. Screens glowed. The world watched IN tennis. The first sparks of that same fire are visible. And here's why this matters beyond emotion. This kind of support changes economics. It impacts ticket sales, broadcast value, sponsorship leverage. It alters scheduling decisions and venue assignments. Governing bodies notice when qualifiers sound like finals. Now the road gets steeper. Eala faces a top 10 opponent next. The competition level rises. The pressure multiplies. And if this was the volume for an early round clash, imagine what happens when stakes climb higher. The so-called Eala era isn't approaching quietly, but it's already here. It's loud. It's organized. It's impossible to ignore. The tennis world has been officially put on notice. To truly understand what happened in Dubai, you have to look beyond the scoreboard and into the structure behind the noise. It's easy to say, the crowd was huge. It's easy to say fans showed up. But those phrases barely scratch the surface of what unfolded at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. This wasn't just attendance. It was alignment. It was identity. It was a community activating all at once. Dubai is a global crossroads. You'll hear dozens of languages walking through a single metro station. But beneath the skyscrapers and luxury storefronts, there's a heartbeat that doesn't always get headlines: the Filipino expat community. For decades, Filipinos have helped power the Emirates in healthcare, hospitality, engineering, aviation, retail, and especially in service sectors. They've built lives far from home, supporting families across oceans. In sports, they've usually been spectators. They'll pack arenas for basketball exhibitions. They'll wake up at odd hours for boxing megafights. When Manny Pacquiao fought, the world paused and the diaspora roared. But tennis always felt distant. European. Elite. A country club sport with traditions and etiquette that didn't always feel accessible to overseas workers grinding through long shifts. Then came Alexandra Eala. She didn't just enter tournaments. She reframed the sport. She gave tennis a face that felt familiar. A young Filipino woman chasing opportunity on foreign soil, navigating pressure, criticism, and expectation. That narrative resonates deeply with people who have done the same in their own lives. So when fans walked into the stadium in Dubai, they weren't just buying tickets to a qualifier. They were showing up for representation. They were showing up for pride. They were showing up to see their story reflected under stadium lights. That's why the energy felt different. When Eala missed a first serve against Hailey Baptiste, the reaction wasn't detached disappointment. It was collective anxiety. A shared inhale. A shared exhale. When she ripped a cross-court forehand to break serve in the first set, the explosion wasn't just celebration, it was release. You could feel tension leaving the building. This wasn't analytical fandom dissecting unforced error counts. This was emotional investment. A crowd riding every swing with her. Local organizers were not prepared for that kind of connection in an early round match. They're used to respectful applause and the occasional standing ovation for a superstar. They're not used to rhythmic chants echoing through changeovers. They're not used to security teams tightening formation because autograph lines are turning into tidal waves. But let's cut through the hysteria and talk about the tennis. Because this wasn't smoke and mirrors. On paper, the matchup with Baptiste was close. Similar ranking. Similar trajectory. A coin flip. Baptiste brought power, athleticism, and tour experience. The first set was tense from the start. Eala began slowly dipping behind early. Under that kind of noise and expectation, it would have been easy to overhit, to rush, to chase spectacular winners. A year ago, maybe she does. But this version of Eala is different. She stayed patient. She constructed points instead of forcing them. She used her left-handed spin to drag Baptiste wide, opening space before striking. She clawed back from 1-2 down, broke serve for 3-2, and you could feel the momentum shift like a weather change. closing out the set 6-4 wasn't flashy. It was composed. And that composure matters. Because playing your best tennis while hundreds, sometimes thousands of people scream your name every time you walk to your towel is incredibly difficult. Noise can elevate you, but it can also overwhelm you. It can distort rhythm. It can spike adrenaline too early. Eala didn't let it swallow her. She channeled it. When Baptiste retired early in the second set due to injury, it was unfortunate. No one wants to see a match end that way. But analytically, the first set had already revealed something important. Eala applies relentless pressure. She doesn't donate points. She forces you to hit one more shot. Then one more. That grinding intensity, combined with a roaring crowd, creates suffocation. It's not just tennis you're battling. It's atmosphere. Now let's zoom out. People keep using the word era. So what does that actually mean? An era isn't just hype. It's trajectory plus traction. The numbers matter. Eala has cracked the top 40, a career-high ranking. This time last year, she was nowhere near that tier. In professional tennis, jumps like that don't happen by accident. They happen through sustained results, deep runs, and consistency against higher-ranked opponents. She's not a junior prospect anymore. She's a tour-level threat. But the Eala era also signals something broader, a shift towards Southeast Asia in women's tennis. We've seen pioneers from Asia before. Lina opened doors. Naomi Osaka became a global superstar. Yet Southeast Asia has rarely produced a singles player who can command this level of global attention. Eala is filling a cultural and geographic gap. And the WTA sees it. Modern tennis isn't just about rankings, it's about markets. Social media engagement. Ticket sales. Broadcast rights. Eala's online interaction rates rival or surpass some top 5 players. In cities with strong Filipino communities, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, parts of Europe, North America, her matches become events. What happened in Dubai was proof of concept. Put her on a show court and you're guaranteed spectacle. That validates wild cards. It justifies primetime scheduling. It attracts sponsors. And yes, let's talk about business. In professional sports, star power translates directly into revenue. Appearance fees rise. Endorsement negotiations shift. Networks prioritize certain matches. A player who can sell out a Tuesday session becomes a marketing centerpiece. In basketball terms, she's approaching franchise player territory, someone around whom tournaments build promotional campaigns. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships has been running for decades, but it hasn't seen this kind of organic groundswell around an early round player in years. That financial gravity also creates stability. Even during inevitable dips in form, a player who draws crowds gets opportunities. Though based on her results, Eala isn't relying on charity. She's earning her ranking the hard way. Now the road ahead. Next up, Jasmine Paolini. This is the litmus test. Paolini isn't just solid, she's elite. A Grand Slam finalist. Top 10 pedigree. Speed, consistency, and big stage experience. This matchup reveals where Eala truly stands in the hierarchy. But here's the twist. Paolini knows what's coming. In press comments, she sounded respectful. Cautious. When a top 10 player emphasizes how good for the sport an opponent is, it often means they understand the context. They know the crowd will tilt heavily one way. When Paolini walks onto that court in Dubai, she'll feel the imbalance. Not hostility rooted in dislike, she's widely respected, but the unmistakable sense that she's standing in the way of a narrative. And narratives are powerful. If Eala hangs with her, pushes her deep, or even pulls off the upset, it's transformative. It's not just ranking points. It's credibility. It's proof she can challenge the elite while carrying the emotional weight of a nation. Now let's explore the psychology of the crowd. There's a Filipino concept called bayanihan, communal unity, collective effort toward a shared goal. Traditionally, it describes neighbors physically lifting a house together to move it. In Dubai, that spirit manifested in a tennis stadium. Those fans weren't isolated individuals. They were synchronized. When she dipped, they amplified. When she surged, they erupted. Tennis is usually solitary, one player, one racket, one mind against another. Eala doesn't feel alone. Wherever significant Filipino diasporas exist, she effectively carries a portable home crowd. That's a tactical edge. It rattles opponents. It fuels adrenaline. It adds marginal gains when legs get heavy late in matches. The shock in Dubai wasn't about one win. It was about the rest of the tennis world realizing how powerful this collective energy can be. Security reportedly tried to calm sections of the crowd. Encourage quieter behavior. But emotion at that scale isn't easily dialed down. It's a tide. You manage it, you don't stop it. And beyond the noise, beyond the marketing, beyond the narrative there's a deeper reflection here. Tennis seasons blur together. Airports, hotels, practice courts, routine matches. But every so often, a moment slices through the monotony and announces change. Dubai felt like that. Thousands roaring for a 20-year-old in a qualifying round. Organizers recalibrating on the fly. Opponents adjusting to a charged atmosphere. Eala didn't just defeat Baptiste. She transformed a tennis venue into a symbol of national pride. She demonstrated that an Asian woman ranked outside the traditional elite can be the biggest draw on the card. She showed that charisma and connection can coexist with disciplined, high-level tennis. But the work isn't finished. Hype is intoxicating. Rockstar labels are flattering. Yet tennis is ruthless. The ball doesn't care about crowd size. Paolini will bring precision, speed, and experience. She won't fold because of noise. This next match is the real proving ground. Can Eala convert hysteria into execution? Can she maintain tactical clarity amid deafening support? Can she shock not just with popularity, but with performance? What feels clear is this: the world is adjusting. When Eala plays now, arenas swell. Media swarms. Expectations rise. The shock of Dubai may soon become routine. The fans who filled those stands, you shifted the atmosphere of an entire tournament. Eala, the stage is brighter, the stakes higher, the spotlight hotter. And to the tennis world the message is unmistakable. Something is happening. And it's only getting louder.